What's up, great patriots? Please like, subscribe, and share. I would love to see you elsewhere spreading this around and giving me your opinions. It's all good that way. Um, First of all, I remember 2000, I guess 10 is when I figured out that Barack Obama was just a complete sham. And I was pretty much raised in a Democratic family that had sort of attributes of a little bit of conservatism in them. They were, hardworking, church, but still leaned, towards the Democratic side, and that was fine. I didn't know anything any different really. But of course, 2010, I was just like completely sold on going to see what the other side looked like, and I didn't switch right away, but I just started checking people out. But I do remember watching the Young Turks a lot. And of course, Jimmy Dore here, who I think has great shows. I've been watching him. I watched him leave I watched him on Young Turks, and then, of course, leave Young Turks. And then now he's been doing his own podcast. And frankly, he's my cup of tea as far as, he seems to be always balanced. And he seems to call out a lot of the stuff that he kind of used to sort of rally for. He does lean sort of towards the Bernie side, which is fine. That's all cool. This one is what strikes me, though, because I did think that he, and I'm not going to even claim I'm smarter than him, funnier than him, or, better at covering politics than him. But when I let you see how these two fellas, he's got his sidekick with him, and to be honest, I don't even know his name, and I should because I've watched it a gabillion times. But it kind of threw me off a little bit. Now I'll get into that more, but I want to make sure you get a chance to just see how maybe a center left kind of portrays the thing that happened with the Dilbert cartoonist.
First of all, what kind of a question is that? Second of all, I bet you a lot of black people are just being dicks to say no, like for funny. And then about the 21% who said, I don't know, because that's such a stupid question.
He
like none of those things. He just went, boom, half of blacks hate whites. That's not what that poll says at all.
It is.
Now, I'm going to be pretty honest. I have a feeling, being I've watched both of them, I can kind of tell that love him or hate him, this being Jimmy, I don't think he's really watched like every day of Scott. And he's kind of portraying him sort of like he's sort of mind reading him.
According to you. He goes, not according to me.
No, that is according to you.
And even if you said, okay, the poll asked that question, you got the numbers
Kurt
wrong.
Metzger.
Because the majority said, oh, yes.
Yeah, the majority.
A small amount said no.
Yeah.
But you lumped in I don't knows with no.
That's exactly.
That's how we read COVID info. I bet the same way.
I bet that's.
All right, so a typical way a left, which he's an ex-leftist, a typical thing they'll do is they got to bring up other stuff. Instead of just fighting with their morals, they're going to bring up other stuff. And yes, one thing I disagreed with was I didn't get the but the way Scott handled it through all the pandemic was kind of super balanced. I mean, he always played the fence, and there was people that got mad about him playing the fence. People wanted him to either say, yes, get the jab, you believe it, or no, don't get the jab. But he kind of played the fence a lot. And then when it really came out that it was ineffective and it was overused and not told, what really was going to happen with the consequences of receiving the jabs and the boosters, he kind of did a Scott thing where he sort of like pinned the tail on the other donkey, let's say. So I don't agree with that. I definitely don't agree with that, and I'm not an apologist for Scott at all. But I'll get to why I'm sort of in this fight for the subject, not for either of these two.
How they counted COVID deaths?
So he got COVID wrong, and then he spent the rest of the time figuring. Even though you got it right, you're still wrong. That was his thing. And now he's doing this.
Well, you won. He said you won.
You won, yeah. And he called you anti-vaxxers.
But I'll make these points up when we get to this black stuff. Trust me.
So here it gets so. Let's just start from the stop. Right.
So if nearly half.
So
of
we
all
saw
blacks,
all this. Let's get up to where they really start.
You know what? He makes a good point.
I don't think this can be fixed.
I'm gonna go move to a neighborhood with less black people and more rich white people. Thanks for the tip, Scott.
Oh my God.
So hang on, it keeps going.
Right, this kid.
By the way, if he really feels this way, shouldn't you have expressed this through a razor sharp Dilbert?
It sweeten the punch with a.
Doesn't everybody want to know what the creator of Dilbert feels about race relations? Hey, what does the creator of Garfield think?
See, this to me is like somebody that's coming up with, they really don't know how to fight it or even disapprove of it without making it sort of you got to slander the other person. I'm sure Scott's made, way more money than 7 of us put together just with Dilbert alone. And that takes a little bit of savvy and this, that, and the other thing. But if you got to just go beat up Dilbert, then you're kind of like just drawing at straws. And I'm going to tell you what I think's happening here.
What? What about? Okay, here we go.
You just have to escape. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, I have a very low black population. Because unfortunately, there's a high.
So he's saying he moved to a neighborhood with a very low black population, apparently because of this poll.
Did he just move today?
But he moved there 30 years ago. So he's been living, according to my research, and correct me if I'm wrong, in the same place for 30 years. So apparently he's felt this way for a while. And now there's a Rasmussen poll to validate it. Finally, thank God, he can tell people why he moved the hell away from
Now
them.
they're going to
They
go off
didn't
on
warn
him.
us 30 years ago when he moved from a white neighborhood to a whiter neighborhood.
See, they're
After
giggling. This
growing
is
up in a
good.
white neighborhood.
This is
After
good.
growing up in a white neighborhood and then living in a whiter neighborhood, he then moved to an even whiter neighborhood.
You just do it if you have to.
And this is good comedy that would have been good
Ah, here we
even
go.
15 years ago.
Between
But
the
they're missing the
density.
point.
And this is according to Don Lemon, by the way.
By the way, it's, now he's quoting Don Lemon, so this is going to put a rift. Really, this is tragic how this poll has put such a rift between Scott Adams and the one black people he knows. Here we go.
So here I'm just quoting Don
So
Lemon.
we saw all of that,
I'm
right?
just quoting
Let's see if
Don
we get up
Lemon
here.
as if that's what people outreach. Is he shutting down Dilbert Kids? It's like a charity that tells at-risk black youth to pull up their pants and pick up
I
the trash.
packed up everything. I said, pull your pants up. I got the hell out of there.
Wow. This is some stunning revelations from Scott Adams here. One, he apparently used to really be into black people before this poll. He was like the big hip-hop guy before this poll ruined black people for him. And there's no fixing this. You've heard the poll.
Yeah, his heart is like a big jug of love for black people that has been shattered. You can't glue that jug back.
Boy, this is your loss, black people.
There you go, Ed McMahon.
You know how that
There
guy
you
from
go.
Dilbert was always helping you?
Laugh again.
Well, that party is over.
It's terrible. Now,
Oh,
again, I love Jimmy. I love his show. So, and he'll never probably even see this. And if he does, I love you, Jimmy. But the whole thing that's missed here, and the thing that's making me mad about what Jimmy Dore's doing here is, I don't know if he's seen any reaction video from black conservatives and even black liberals. There's a lot of things that have happened over the last 6 to 8 years that has brought our country into racial turmoil. And to me, my focus would be, not that it's a stupid little poll, my focus would be that if race wars are so darn ready to just flame up anytime, anywhere, flip the switch, and here we go, that they're not focusing on a biased company that's supposed to just do polling, just did a polling asking black people if white people are okay. To me, that's just a little bit of baiting there. It should not be a poll that is out there. Now, it's another thing if, say, Fox News or CNN said they asked Rasmussen to do the poll and then they reported on the poll. But no, Rasmussen put it out there, sort of right on their front page if you subscribe to them. That's where I'm having a problem with it. I don't care if you disagree with Scott and agree with Jimmy, or disagree with Jimmy and or agree with Jimmy and disagree with Scott or whatever. That's not where I'm at. My main dog in the fight here is I don't believe that this should have come out. I don't think it was a smart. They can do whatever they want. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's smart. I don't think it's helping America right now with everything that's going on, even outside of race. Now you're going to throw this up there as a distraction. Now maybe that's all they think it is. It's just a lighthearted distraction and blah blah blah. But the people of today cannot take this stuff. And I'm going to put this link here so you can watch his whole show. And again, I have really no ill will with either one of the two people, except for Laugh Clown. He's just a clown. I pray that my opinion is, I guess, one of the smart things that maybe Scott was thinking he was doing, and I don't know if it's going to come to fruition, but he's getting people talking about how mainstream media can control what you're thinking or fighting for at any given drop of a poll. Now it's just a poll. It can't be Fox saying something and then all the left gets mad. It can't be CNN or MSDNC saying something and then, all the right gets mad. Now it's just a simple poll to trigger everybody for the right and wrong reasons. So, like I said, I'll leave this comment in there. I do hope you like, subscribe, and share. And remember to kiss, love, hug a veteran. And again, I'm just showing you that this is sort of like from that left-leaning side of how they're going to do it. And I respect them, but I have way more respect for the black community that's coming out to talk about it. Not even to side with Scott, but if you talk about, like I've seen some of the black liberals just go off on it, and it's no different than what I'm seeing here. Now, if you disagree with me, drop a comment, and I will see you on the other side. Remember, kiss, love, hug a veteran. I love you guys. Hang in there, and I will see you soon.